her slide through. So, with her sliding over here, I'm gonna have Brea slide through. So let me real quick just kind of give you a bit of her resume. So celebrity fashion designer Brea Stinson, who has made a name for herself as a stage couturier to megastars like Beyonce, Toni Braxton, Lauryn Hill, Genuine, Patti LaBelle, Usher, Stevie Wonder, Lil Nas X, Her, Nas, Lizzo, Anderson .Paak, TLC, DJ Khaled, Jay-Z, Missy Elliott, Zayn, Rita Ora, Demi Lovato, TLC, 50 Cent, Will Smith, many more, many, many, many more. Her intricate and detailed designs are mixed with the right balance of glamour and audacity and are recognizable on any stage. So, you know what? Slide through. Slide through, Brea. We're glad to have you in the office. Slide on through. Hey, Brea.
Hey, boo.
How are you?
I'm chilling. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm chilling. So good to see your face. Beautiful.
You too. Thank
Oh
you.
my goodness. How is everything? Where are you? Set the stage for us. Where are you?
I'm in DTLA, downtown Los Angeles, in my loft where I have been quarantining.
Yes, we have been quarantining, which is a huge difference for you in your crazy day-to-day life of creating all these designs for people.
But it's been good. It started off kind of dark and sad and weary, but I have to say it's been good, and I'm very happy right now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So how have you been spending your time?
Oh, child. I've been cooking and snacking up a storm.
Yeah. Whatever. Yes.
Just a little chirp face because she been getting them snacks all the way in.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. But
So,
you've also been working because you have your face masks, right?
Yes,
Your
I
face
do.
shields.
I have the face shields. Those are, matter of fact, maybe we'll do a little discount for everybody that's in here. We'll do a genius discount. So I'll post it. I'll post it when we finish.
Yes.
So it'll be genius with a J, but we'll do that as soon as we get out of here if y'all want to do a little face shield.
Of course we do. And they're so dope. I don't know if you guys have seen them yet,
you.
but we'll post them as well. Like, they're so fly, as are you. Like, so that's one thing about you. Like, your personal style itself, like, you're just fly. Like, and you have this kind of innate sense of style. Like, so did you always know, like, were you stylish, or were you always stylish and then you got into designing based off of your own aesthetic, or was, like, how did it come about? Chicken or the egg?
I think it was definitely it came from somewhere real, somewhere pure, because my mother is very classic. She loves the clothes, but she's very much about, oh, this piece is still gonna go hard in 20 years. So I definitely had like linen slacks with pleats and linen button-down shirts when I was in high school, and linen little suits. So she was all about like classic, and I liked a little bit more edge, but she kind of helped me to like fine tune that so it wasn't like so trendy. And I've never been hourglass or an ideal shape either. So I think it kind of forced my creativity to find things that I felt good in. So, and also I have two ratchet little puppies. So if they bark, just breathe and let it pass.
Yeah.
Soon.
It's fine. They can be part of the interview. It's fine. Okay. All right. So how did you get, like, now I always see your stuff like on many stages, and I can always recognize it. Like, you have like this, your aesthetic is so fly. It's intricate. The details are on. It's like layers flowing. It's so lit. But tell me this. We'll get to some of those moments and how you kind of started to define your style. But what was your entry point into the industry? Like, did you always know that this is what you wanted to do?
Well, I just had a bad thing coming up where I didn't want to walk into homecoming or anywhere else and somebody have on the same thing that I had on. So I was always on a mission, like, how can we turn this up? I want to cut this, because my mother used to like to take me to the Limited and Express. And I'm like, I'll be damned if old girl gonna be having on my look. So I was always rearranging something and remixing something. And so, like I said, I had a certain body type there. I just wanted to feel comfortable, and I didn't want to look like anybody else. So I think that definitely carried into my career. And I would say that it's interesting because I would say my entry point into the industry was in college.
Okay.
I had a classmate, Courtney Ward, who was administrative assistant to Tamika Foster at the time, who was doing Lauryn Hill, Toni Braxton. She was doing Patti LaBelle and Genuine at the time. And she introduced me to her. And so at the time I was making, all the little J-Lo rhinestone headbands and belt buckles. Like
Yes.
it was Dipset and bling bling season. So I was doing all of that stuff. I was making all of the turning the Levi's into skirts and like distressing shorts because it was also the India Irie era as well. So
yes.
I
you were
had
in
those,
Atlanta. And
I had those girls covered. So I had the ghetto rhinestone stuff for those, and then I had a little incensey little bits of Levi turnaround for the other squirrels. Because she's got to get her books and her snacks.
Okay.
While in college.
I deal with you.
So it was like, come on, queen. Come on, hood rat.
It's like, come on, I got all y'all coming.
Yeah,
what you need?
everybody.
You need a head wrap or you
come
need...
on, Empress.
Oh, my God. I love that. I love that. Okay,
yeah, so she introduced me to her, and I thought that I was like immediately, I was like, oh my God, she's doing Lauryn Hill. Like, I'm gonna get her in a skirt. Maybe I'm a rhinestone, a turban. I'm gonna be rich, and it's over. And she was like, ma'am, here's your introduction to wardrobe styling. I'm gonna need you to bring your sewing machine and sit over there.
This is all we need from you. Like,
yeah, so it was great though, because I actually got to learn what styling was and a proper setup and everything that was required that you don't see when it comes to building an album packaging or doing a music video. It's literally a whole process before you get that little picture or that 2-minute video. So I was able to actually see that wardrobe styling could be a career and would it all include it,
Wow. So those were your early days of so that's where you kind of got some of that innate training was with Tamika. Yeah.
Yeah, she was just like, that little cut up t-shirt, that's nice, but we got Chanel on the rack today, little We'll save that for another project.
Save that, yeah. That's cute. That's cute.
When we get some dancers or something, I look good for them. But she literally, she used to have the Christian Dior on the rack, so I was like, let me tuck my little do-it-yourself project in here. Never mind. Never mind.
But now you're doing yourself is you're doing it for everybody. So that just lets you know the journey that you've been on throughout this.
I've been lucky.
Yeah. So how did you start to map out your trajectory, or what were some of the key moments in your career that have gotten you to where you are now?
Child, I didn't have no trajectory.
What do you mean? You had to be doing all you're doing now, and you started out in the sewing machine in the corner. There had to be some okay, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna do it.
Not back then.
Okay.
Not have a trajectory. It was just graduate from college because mama and the family want you to do so.
Okay.
Try not to be in the club too much because I was in Atlanta. So that was another thing.
In Atlanta in the 90s? What?
Yeah, that was my second major.
The clubs.
The club.
You know what? You get a lot of inspiration from the clubs, though.
Yeah, that's how I tested out my wares. Yeah, hot glue some feathers on a pair of shoes and see how they work.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I did the most.
Oh my God. I love that.
I
I
dressed up
love
all
that.
my friends and we pumped through that VIP line, okay?
Oh, so wait, how did you build your skill set though? Like, yeah, because again, you're doing these. I mean, I'm sure you've built it throughout. So back then, you probably weren't as skilled as you are now. But how
Oh
did
no,
you
no, no, no.
start to?
That finishing was a mess and she was making everything out of spandex. I dressed a lot of strippers in Atlanta because everything was a stretchy a go-go. And the finishing was a mess, but I was just like, I know what those girls need. So I was able to do that. I would say, sorry. I majored in business and I took a lot of my electives in like fashion merchandising and rendering. And so I was able to get like a little of the business background and just a little bit of the the base for what it is that I'm doing now. The base for
Hmm.
the marketing and everything like that. And then it was just trial and error for me because of course I didn't have money to, hire someone to do the sewing and all of that stuff back then. So it was trial and error. Like I bought a machine and I just kind of tested things out. And you literally with all of this, it's just better to have that hands-on experience. And then
Yeah.
the more I worked with Tamika, even after I graduated, I became her key assistant. So I was a stylist.
Okay.
I got an introduction to like really fine clothes and like fabrics and like how the bigger brands finished off their garments. And so it just opened my eyes to like the possibilities of where things could go once I was exposed. I mean, because my mom had Vogue magazine and all of that stuff around, and my mother has always had like really beautiful pieces, but to see it in the wide range that I saw it once I started working with Tamika, it just gave me a better idea as to, what classic pieces are, what timeless things are, and what straight lines are. And like, let's get into that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's get into that. The
Hmm.
finishings. Okay. So then, what was like a key moment that you can like pinpoint, if there is one, that it was like, oh, the tides are turning. You were a stylist, so now you're a designer, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Because when I moved to New York after I graduated, and I ended up becoming her key assistant in New York because she lived in Atlanta. So she would fly in. That's when budgets were
Budgets.
amazing.
Yes. Oh, the good old
Budgets were
days.
good and they were flying you
Budgets.
around. You had car service and
Service. Oh,
yeah,
the good
all
old
of the
days.
perks.
All the
So I was
perks.
her assistant in New York and that's where all the showrooms were. So I got a crash course in prepping jobs because I was the one who would go and pick up the clothes from all the designers in the showrooms. So that was another eye in that I had no idea exists. And I think
Gotcha.
a lot of people get that confused as well because when you're a stylist, you're actually hi Tut. You're
Hi.
you're actually going into those showrooms, and the goal is to get your client those pieces straight off the runway and let them to be the first in those clothes before they hit retail. So that's
Mhm.
a real stylist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And so then when was your first designing gig that you're like, okay, I'm out of here?
No, it was a process because after I stopped working with her, we worked on we worked with Jay-Z and his assistant at the time, and she was way more than an assistant. She was just the right hand and the handler of all things. She started an agency. Her name was Carlene. She started an agency, and I was one of the first stylists that she courted to be a part of the agency. And so with that, I think she saw that my interest was just deeper into being more creative and not so much like shopping for clients and that type of thing. So we created a wish list, and so on my wish list it was all clients like Missy Elliott, and I wanted to do like Guns N' Roses if they ever got back together. I wanted to do people who wanted unique pieces that I would have an opportunity to design within the styling. So I think
Mm,
that's how it started, and then the more successful I got and the busier I got, I think that it became I had to make a choice because it was impossible. Stop it. It was impossible to be 100% at both.
Mm.
So I decided to make a choice. And then I just think things came full circle, because when I started, I was like, oh, Lauryn Hill's going to get this piece. And then it came back around to where it was just like, okay, of the two of these things, which one do you prefer? And which one is the most rewarding with all the time you're putting in and all the sacrifices you're making? And I felt like designing was that for me.
Wow.
And that didn't happen until 2010 that I
Oh,
made.
really?
Yeah.
Really? So up until then, you were styling, but designing pieces along the way for the clients you were styling for.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, you know what? My designs. Like, I want to focus on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because also just to give you some idea of what was happening in the world, 2008, the economy crashed. So budgets were way smaller, but clients were still expecting 5 racks of clothes. And it's just like, how? The budget was 500, not 50K.
What you want from me?
Yeah. I think today we're going to do a home look, a robe and a towel. Because that's what your budget allows. I'm going to do a home look. With quarantine before quarantine. Hashtag been there, done that.
I cannot. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then you decide, was that a hard decision for you to make though?
No, because sorry. I was run raggedy by that point.
Got you. Got you.
Tut.
They want your attention. Okay, so you were run ragged by that point, but isn't designing, so then tell me because designing, there's so much more involved in that. It's not like you're just running to a store and picking something up. You're actually, you know what? Take me through your process. You get a call.
Yeah.
I need X, Y, and Z. I need this look for stage. What then is your process?
The process is usually, if there's a creative director on board, to try to get an idea of what the feeling is going to be like, if there's lighting involved, because you don't want to do anything clashy, but then just try to get a sense of where the client is, like what type of mood are they in, and if they're going to be dancing around, that requires a different type of fabric, a different garment. If you know what I mean, if they sliding across the stage on their knees, you know that you need a certain type of fabric or some sort of protective underlay. You know what I mean? If you have a client, stop it. If you have a client like Usher who might do the splits, then you need a gusset in his pants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't want that mishap.
You don't want that mishap. I mean, some might, but you don't want that mishap.
Yeah, so we usually get on a creative call. I ask those questions, and then a lot of times I'll put a sketch together. And if there's a middle person, like a stylist involved, then they'll say like, oh, like I'm thinking, like with the Beyonce bubble coat, Marty called me and she said, I'm thinking something kind of bubble coat but parachute-y. And I'm like, well, that's perfect, because I know what you're talking about. But I don't know if she could have called, another person and they just would have got it, because she, at the time, she was doing so many jobs. That was the extent of our conversation. And just by the tone of her voice, I knew it was like, so don't call me and ask me nothing else. It's got to be gold, and I want parachute meets bubble jacket, outerwear, but fabulous situation. And she was like, okay, bye.
What?
Yeah, it was 3:00 in the afternoon. I had my aunt and my cousin here from Detroit. I was at Disneyland. So if it's 3:00 in the afternoon, the stores are getting ready to close at 5:00.
And you're at Disneyland.
I'm at Disneyland. So I had to call my production manager at the time, and I was like, I need you to go to the studio, like start setting up, but I also need you to go and start sourcing fabric and start sending me pictures, because I have to get an Uber back downtown.
Wait, how long did you have to turn this around?
It had to be ready that night, because it had to get on a flight to go to New York for the last show for the Lemonade tour.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute.
Is it the
It's three.
Lemonade Tour? Was that what it's called? But it
It's
was
called Formation, baby. It's
okay.
called
Yes,
Formation.
Formation.
It's fine.
See, she old now. So I'll be like, what's the name?
The
Whatever.
Lemonade Tour.
Yeah, the
But wait a
Lemonade.
minute. So it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you have to deliver this by that evening. A look for Beyonce for the Formation Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how's that like?
I made it back downtown at 4:45. The images that he sent me, I didn't really like, but he was able to go and get the batting, the inside, the cushion that I needed. So he picked that up. He had that ready for me at the studio. I ran into a store. They're getting ready to pull the gate down. And I was just like, just give me 5 yards of that one and that one. And then I'll decide when I get to the studio which one is going to work. So we made the coat. They picked the coat up at 1:30 or 2 a.m. It got on a 6 a.m. flight, and it was on stage the next night at like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yes. What's that feel like? I'm hyped just thinking about it. I'm like, ooh, what's that feel like?
It was a lot of anxiety because, of course, I'm like looking at all my friends who are at Madison Square Garden, looking at the pictures, and I'm like, she didn't wear it. She didn't wear it. She didn't wear it. She didn't wear it. And then my friend Cheryl from New York, she was on the side of the stage and she was like, yo, I know you made this. Tell me you made this. And I gagged. I gagged. And it was like the most amazing thing in the world. Because I left, I like to leave. Look, I like a little shoulder.
Like
so, I had done the jacket with a cold shoulder, and so she took the batting out of the sleeves, I guess, to make it more lightweight for her. But when I saw it, I gagged.
That is everything. That's so exciting and crazy at the same time. How do you manage okay, because again, like I said, your stuff is everywhere. Like continuously. At least I feel like it is. I'm like, oh my God, another Brea moment, another Brea moment. Brea did that. Hashtag Brea did that. So so even in those moments, like with the Beyonce, how do you keep up with the volume that you have to do and the turnarounds that are expected within the industry?
Oh, she gets weary.
I love this. Is the realest conversation I've had.
No,
I
don't have honestly, a trajectory.
She's weary. I don't know.
No, honestly, because people are like, oh, you're branding. You need to take more pictures and you need to do this and that. And it's just like, I can't take no pictures.
I don't have time for that.
I look like Leroy. I'm not taking no pictures. So a lot of my pictures when I'm in the studio are like of my hands, scissors, the paper, you know what I mean? Because no, and no.
Whatever. Whenever I see you, you're always glowing.
Whenever you see me, she's strategic.
It's strategic.
Yeah, because they'll be like, I'm not listening to her about nothing. She can't tell me about these looks looking like that. So and literally, I really work. So there's just not a lot of time for all of that. Like, it doesn't make sense. And I've had interns that come in and they on Instagram and taking pictures, and I'm like, child, this is due at 3 o'clock. You do realize you got to march to FedEx in 2 minutes.
Meanwhile, you trying to take a snap.
Yeah, lace up your shoes. Put the Instagram down. Lace up your shoes because you have to run to FedEx in about 60 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
You can tell your followers about it later.
Yeah, let's get the work done.
Yeah.
And then tell them about it.
Lace
it up. Oh my God. Okay, so even speaking of that, what's your team look like? I know you have a studio in downtown LA, right?
Yes, I do.
Which is major. Congratulations. You have a home and then you have a studio, which a lot of people don't have that separation.
No, you need that.
Yeah. So how has that changed things for you? And then also, I want to speak about your team as well. Because again, I know that teamwork makes the dream work. And so how does your team dynamic look from management or from assistants to other, how's
Yeah,
that?
it's definitely changed now because of our current situation. But typically, I would have two sewers. I would have a part-time pattern maker. So when jobs overlapped, I could work on patterns during the day. The guys would, I would cut, they would sew, and then I would go back to drafting patterns. And then if I had overlapping jobs, then I would have someone who could come in the evening and also work on patterns and or fine tune the patterns that I worked on, because I never went to school for it. So I still like to have somebody to come in and fine tune it. I mean, I've been doing it for so long. I have a lot of blocks that I can now work from and edit, but I still have her to come in the evening, and if things are really crazy, she could be working on a second project or overlooking what I did earlier in the day.
Whew, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You be working.
Yeah, and then I had another leg of people who were willing to come in at night if need be for sewing and construction.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot. So
Hmm.
tell me this, because I also look at like the things you do. So you also do like the dancers for Cardi sometimes, right?
Yep, I work with one of my best friends, Binky.
Binky
She's in
is
charge.
epic.
She's in charge of the girls.
She's in charge of the girls. Binky's in charge of the
Yes,
girls.
yes,
We love Binky, amazing dancer, amazing
yes.
performer, amazing. Yes, we love
Every
Binky.
woman, she's
Yeah,
like,
she's every woman,
yeah.
legit. Yeah.
Mhm.
So okay, so when I look at that, whenever I look at those designs that you've done for dancers, it's like one cohesive look, but everybody is different. Like,
That's how I like to do it. When I have creative, like when I used to do TLC and their dancers, I kind of would like each one, like the base, like maybe all the pants are the same, but I kind of like each one of them to have a little bit of personality.
how do you do that? How do you strike that? I mean, is it just that you've worked with so many silhouettes and designs and patterns that you just have like, okay, this one, this one, this one, or is it really like in the like how do you differentiate between them and all and make them all cohesive at the same time?
I mean, I think it's key. I think we all perform better when we're comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In whatever job you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yes,
You give a better show when you feel good.
this is true.
So, I mean, that definitely applies to dancers because they can't really get off if something's too tight, or you know what I mean, they don't have a super flat stomach and you got them in low rise jeans and a halter top. It just, yeah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna dance your best, you're not gonna perform your best if you're uncomfortable. So I that's initially why I started to give each dancer a little bit of their own thing, because even with when I worked with Binky and Sarah when they were dancing for Usher, like each one of them would have their thing. Like one of the guy dancers might need a knee pad. Another dancer, like T-Boz, likes to wear something tied on her left arm. So, you know what I mean? You learn those
Yeah.
tricks about each dancer or each entertainer, and you start to apply that because you know that once they have that thing that they like, they're it's gonna look better. And when you feel better, it makes my work look better.
Yes, yes. Someone just says you're so aware of way more than just the fashion, and you are. It's like you have to understand like all of the intricacies of the performance, of the performer, of their
I'm
ongoing
a
look, and
Cancer. I
uh,
feel everything.
everything. You
Every,
cancers. Oh my God. I
I'm the
love that.
I'm the tenderest. So I didn't cry 5 times before you got the clothes. So it just be like, here's all of me.
Put all of you into it. I absolutely
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
Cause she
So
didn't
even
cry, she didn't ate a snack, she didn't did everything with this garment. So it's energy, there's love in there, there's a couple color words in there.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I love it. Speaking of what Marquise was talking about earlier, how do you maintain your cool in all of this? Again, even when you get that call, I can imagine getting a call from Marnie at 3 o'clock saying, I need something by this evening for Beyonce for the Formation Tour, and being like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. What? How do you maintain your cool?
I think that I've learned from just situations in the past where, you know, because when you're young, you a little entitled and you think that opportunities will always be there. So maybe you don't massage or, you know, massage a relationship the way that you should because you think you'll always have access to that person or that situation. I learned when I was younger that that's not always the case. So like with Marnie, I love her sense of style. I think that we have a very similar aesthetic. That budget is way bigger than mine. But 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 just looking at how she puts things together, I can tell that we're from the same tribe, and that's someone that I always wanted to work with. So she had called me to do, I think, like Nicki Minaj dancers before that actually happened. And I just knew that whatever it was, like, I want to do it, I want to kill it, because I want her to call me back because I believe in her work and I want to work with her.
Oh, yes, yes. Relationships. So let's talk about that. So you mentioned Marnie. I know another frequent collaborator of yours is Jason Rembert, as
Yeah.
well as Worry. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about the relationships you have with the stylist and the importance of that.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
Oh, so it's interesting because I came from a styling background. It took a while for stylists to even warm up to the idea that now we're not in competition with each other.
Oh, that. I
And,
didn't even
and
think
not
about that.
yeah, and not that I was like ever in competition because I just wanted to work on certain projects. So it wasn't like I was sitting at home plotting on the next person's client because it's just like you can have Mr. Baseball Cap and blue jeans.
I don't want him.
You do great with that. I don't want that. I want the person who want me to take like 10 wigs and make a dress out of it. I want that person.
Yes.
So it's two different things, and it's just enough money for everybody to get off and do what they're good at. So when I transitioned over into design, it took a while for people to understand that now I'm your ally and I can help you to execute your dream. And if you don't really have the vision, I can kind of help you come up with one. And if you tired and weary like I used to be, just throw me the ball. I'll get it done.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, yes. Throw me the
Yeah.
ball, I get it done. And I think that's kind of what Marquise was talking about. And again, he's my best friend. I talk to him all the time. So I remember how when he was talking to you and trying to get all the salt and pepper done, and he was just like, Brea just saved my life. Like, I said two things, and then now look at this. And I was like, yes, I love that. So that's amazing. Shout out to you for that. Tell me this, because we only have
Thank you,
10.
Marquise.
So we only have 10 minutes. It all happened so fast.
It is.
Tell me this. What is one of the moments that you're most proud of in your career?
Stevie Wonder.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me, y'all are both Detroit. So tell me about the Stevie Wonder moment.
Yeah, I have cried a lot of tears about that. Um, my friend Felicia Fant was called to do PR for an event he was having. It was to promote his upcoming song party tour. So they wanted to have an event where they just invited people out to announce the tour essentially, but it was around the time of his birthday too. So I get a call from the mystery handler and she asked me, she was like, you know, we wanted to put together a special team for this event and you were highly recommended. And when are you available to get on a call with Stevie? And I'm like, oh. So I was on my way to dinner with one of my clients, Claude Kelly, who's an amazing.
Oh, Claude Kelly and Chuck Harmony. What's up? I
Yeah,
love them.
he's
Love
an
them.
amazing songwriter and artist. Like to
Yes.
me,
Louis York. We love Louis
yes,
York. Yes. And I
exactly.
know you did all of that as well. And it looks beautiful. And again, I was like, Brea did that. But go ahead.
So I get the call and she said, okay, I'm gonna patch in Stevie. So I'm like, okay. So he gets on and he was like, hey, he was like, where are you from? And I was like, I'm from Detroit. And he was like, okay. So then he said, and when's your birthday? And I said, July 14th. And he was like, Cancer, you crazy than a motherfucker, ain't you?
Yes,
And I was like,
Stevie.
yes, sir. And he was telling me, he was just like, I got a daughter that's a Cancer, so y'all crazy, but I love y'all. I was like, okay,
that.
good. So we off to
We
a good
good.
start. So he just said that he was excited to work with me. And she basically sent me a picture of the song party flyer, which was about love, music, and all these wonderful things. And so it had like hearts, music notes. And she was like, I want the jacket to be a representation of what this is. So I ended up making a leather patchwork jacket with those symbols in it. And we ended up doing like maybe 12 or 13 of those jackets for the entire tour. And it was just a really beautiful experience because I don't know if y'all know, but Stevie was fashion in the 70s, 80s.
Was Stevie giving fashion back then?
Do you remember the picture of Kanye West and Amber in the fur coats coming off the private
Yes.
jet?
Yes,
That
I
was an
do.
exact knockoff of Stevie Wonder and his first wife from the
Oh, come on,
70s.
Stevie.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, didn't
So
know.
he knows quality clothes because he was wearing all the most amazing designers back then. So he knows fit and he knows quality.
Yes.
So it's a different thing when you're used to handing somebody something in their favorite color and they like, it's my favorite color, whatever it is, I'm putting it on because it looks great. He's all
Mm.
about feel and fit. So when he first put the jacket on, he was able to touch the details and he was like, this is beautiful. He was like,
Oh.
he said, thank you, Moonchild. And I was like,
Wow.
I'm from Detroit, but I've been obsessed with Diana Ross, the Supremes, and that whole Motown entrepreneurship situation since a
Oh,
tiny kid.
oh my goodness.
So to have that happen to me was like it was God.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Like, I mean, Stevie is Stevie and has always been Stevie. So just,
Yeah,
yeah, and you work with a lot of big present day names, but I love that you called that out as your proudest moment
yeah.
because, yeah,
That those songs and that legacy aren't going anywhere. So just
anywhere.
to have a tiny little piece of that, nothing will ever top that.
Ooh, I love that. Wait, let me see. I want to try to get to a question, I guess, even though I got more, but I want to give the people something. Oh, this is good. How do you keep ideas fresh within an industry that has no bounds, really?
I think it's just a feeling. Like it's a feeling. I'm just naturally kind of intuitive, and I'm really quick on my feet when the pressure is on. So I think the magic a lot of times happens in the pressure.
Mm.
Because in my real life I'm kind of indecisive, but when the pressure is on, like we're gonna do this is what it is, and that's it.
Ooh, I love that. Yes, when the
Yeah.
pressure is on.
Hmm.
Um, okay, give me a piece of advice that you would give to an aspiring creative, like something that you learned along the way that has been a key in your success.
If it doesn't feel right, don't do it, because you're gonna hate yourself later. So if you get some sort of red flag or icky feeling, or you know that the job is not so much about the art or the passion behind it, you're just trying to pay your cell phone bill, don't do it. Because it's not worth it. A lot of times, those jobs that you don't necessarily like or you hate from the onset, you're going to probably procrastinate to the very last minute to get it done. And then it's going to suck. And then you're going to do it again. And you're going to spend more money to do it again the right way. And it's just not going to feel good. So it's about integrity and kind of just knowing yourself from the beginning. And if it's something that you think old girl down the hall will be better at, send it to her.
Ooh, yes, yes. There's enough room for everybody, and
Yeah.
everything ain't for everybody.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes. Um, okay. I want to do a quick game of either or with you. You ready?
Oh goodness. Okay.
Okay, ready. Okay.
Mm.
Couture or streetwear?
I mix both. I think that's what my aesthetic is.
It really is. That's why I wanted to ask. So you're not
Yeah,
going to answer? So you're not going to answer?
it's a sweatpant with a hand beaded crystal. Okay. It's Detroit. It's glamorous
It's
and it's
Detroit. It's
ghetto.
so Detroit.
Yeah.
You are so Detroit. I love it. I love it.
It's glam and ghetto.
Yes. Okay. Red carpet or stage?
Stage.
Bad boy or so deaf?
Bad boy.
Loose or fitted?
Loose.
New York or Atlanta?
New York.
New York or LA?
New York.
Yes, New York. Okay. Stinson House custom or Stinson House collection?
Custom, because I don't know. After quarantine, I don't know if we'll ever get a full collection.
Don't say that. Yes, we will. 90s or now?
90s.
Wally or Basquiat?
90s are now. And
Huh?
who I said 90s are right now anyway.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay. I said Kahinde Wally or Basquiat. I don't know.
You see who's back there?
Oh, yes. I didn't even see.
That's from Knowledge Bennett.
Yes. I love that. Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
the answer to that. Dover Street or Jeffries?
Dover Street.
Compassion or tough love?
I think tough love has compassion.
You just won't answer these questions, huh? I'm playing.
No, seriously. Because if you don't care, if you're not compassionate, you're not gonna bother to give anybody the tough love.
Ooh, a word. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking that question off. Early morning or late night?
Late night.
Yes.
My personality don't cut on until 5 o'clock, and I don't start getting them juices flowing until midnight. Okay.
Same. Okay, it's the genius in us.
Yeah.
Call or text?
Text.
Text.
For most things.
Yeah. Okay. Late night text. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna just do like 5-word associations because we don't have much time. Okay, Detroit.
I'm sorry.
Oh, this is word association. What comes to mind? Detroit.
Home.
Dapper Dan.
Icon.
Passion.
Love.
AUC.
Everything.
Hip hop.
The start.
Returns.
I hate them.
Invoice.
Diana Ross.
Patricia Fields.
Fire engine.
Vogue.
My mother.
Yes, my mother. Yo, this was so much fun. We only have a minute left. Brea, you've been so much fun. Thank you. You're iconic. Your work is iconic. This is not our first time. We're doubling back to you for more moments, by the way.
No,
but we just wanted to get a little introduction to your world. So I'm glad you're now part of our Creative Genius community. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to our discount code for the face shields.
Yep. I'm going to put it in my Insta story right now, and then I'll send it over to you as well. So Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Brea. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Everybody, y'all go get them face masks. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
You guys go get those face masks on her site. We'll put them on our site tonight on in our stories. Thank you guys so much. Tomorrow I have my brother, Miss Lawrence, coming in. He has a new single out. I'm really excited to have him on. And yeah, guys, have an amazing day. It's hump day. Yeah, get out there, enjoy the weather. It's beautiful. And yeah, hope to see you guys soon tomorrow. I'm clocking out. Peace.